Shall we?
Yep.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That sounded being old.
Okay, let the roll call show that everyone is present. We do have a quorum. Approval of the agenda.
I want to make a motion agenda to move the Fremont County Historical Preservation from unfinished business to communications from citizens. She needs to be able to get out of here.
Very
Second.
Very good. We have a motion and second to amend the agenda. To move from unfinished business B, Fremont County Historic Preservation to number 6, communication from citizens. Any further, moved by Councilman Harkey, second by Councilman Stetler. Any further discussion?
Can we move number 19? Just after 6?
Well, that would take a separate, I'd take a second motion.
Oh,
We'll entertain it, but anyway, if no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same motion. Can we hear from the Fremont County Historic Preservation? We didn't do it. Oh, didn't we? No, you are right, I am confused.
Hi, I'm Joe Hartman. I'm the secretary. The president, all kinds of things have happened just today. She had to go to Jackson for a medical thing, and my brother-in-law just passed away this morning. So thank you for giving me a chance to just speak to you. I'm here just as a reminder that, you know, we still want to have the plaque and the information to go at in the beautiful little town park and everything, and we basically are just checking in with you guys to see what you have decided as far as the information that would go on the plaque, and perhaps what picture that you want to have on the plaque, that kind of stuff, and that kind of stuff. So it's basically to find out.
I have dropped the ball on that. You know, we decided we're gonna do it, but we have not, to my knowledge, made a decision of what we're gonna put. We're gonna go with the bronze, is that correct?
that was what we.
We voted on, but we haven't put together exactly what we're gonna put on it,
Okay.
but I sure appreciate you coming here and talking to us about it.
And you know about the bronze she talked to you about last time about whether it or aluminum and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, and you decided on the bronze.
Yep, we
Okay.
did.
And I guess then we just need we're just waiting then for you guys to come up with some words for the plaque and the picture and stuff, and
We will
keep
do
us
that.
posted.
We'll do that.
Do you have a date when you would like to have this?
Oh.
done? You know, December 25th, whatever.
Yeah, sure. No, we
Last
don't
week.
have anything. It's just, you know, we want to make sure we have the money on our end of the deal
Okay.
too, so. Just to keep us in the loop of where you guys are in that, and we'll go from there.
Very good.
Wise to consider being a committee on this deal.
Probably should.
I can think of a couple of people that probably
Yeah.
be best for that if they'd be willing. And it's kind of up their alley.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll
I've
get
just
what-
a
yeah.
thought.
No. Well.
Well, you've
we'll
got
get
our
on it.
contact and everything, so
Very good.
just give us a call and I'll just report that you guys are working on it.
Appreciate
Okay.
it, Joe. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and leave then. So
You bet.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, drive safely.
All right.
There any other communications from citizens? None being the consent agenda, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I noticed in the minutes,
Yeah, it needs to have a line that, motion to approve and second and after.
that we
back in
did
regular session.
approve that and that during the motion, those that it was noted that it had been inspected, that it was found to be safe, solid and it would not devalue anyone's property in any way and then all that. And then that was my only concern with the minutes.
I'll pass it on to the clerk to.
Are you looking at item number 8 in public hearing?
Yeah,
Okay, you talked about is electrical inspections.
right, but
So,
it doesn't show that we did in fact grant the variance, which we did.
Okay. That is true.
And during that discussion of granting that, I clearly,
Sure.
yeah, between all of us, and those reasons are stated there, but I think they should be stated in discussion, because per our attorney that has to be done on a zoning variance, which was granted. So I move that we approve the consent agenda with that correction.
Second,
Did I not state that right? I got lost. All I was saying was where we did. During the public hearing, we did give the variance, but we stated reasons, but the minutes don't reflect exactly that, and that they need to reflect exactly what that. Yep.
Yeah, it just has the. Going into public hearing and coming out of public hearing, but nothing about it being actually approved, which it was afterwards.
Yep.
So that I'll have the clerk know to add that.
And it did mention they do have the certified inspection.
Any other additions, corrections? It been moved. And it's been moved by Councilman Parkey, second by Councilman Stetler,
Or back, vice versa.
whatever the way it was. That we approve the consent agenda with the addition as so stated by Councilman Stetler.
Yes, sir.
To correct the discussion of the zoning variance,
Yeah, the motion.
the motion on the zoning variance. Any further discussion? If none being, pardon?
we haven't got to the bills yet, have we?
No, that's fine.
Okay,
No, it's.
I did the consent.
yeah, so I have questions on the bills.
Okay, then.
Let me find. So. On this very first bill for Leonard McMurray, that is for the roof on the new building, correct? On the new town,
That's the final payment upon certified inspection completion by the architect and the mayor. That the job was completed, and that was the final payment
Okay.
of that job.
any problems with it so far? I mean, it rained a couple days ago.
No, not that I know of. No
Okay.
complaint.
That was the first one I had. Then on the third bill for the bottom for Plan One Architect. Plan Town Hall remodel, they ever reimbursed us for anything from their mistakes?
They've reduced the cost on the change orders that came in that was added into there, so they've covered they haven't directly paid us back, they just reduced how much we had to pay for.
Okay.
That's so, I guess, in kind.
Okay, so
that was
instead of having two checks, there was one check.
Right,
correct.
And then the check to the Rural Development Committee, check number 953. Tell me about it.
That is what we approved last year, the special project for 22,000 for the zoning building codes.
Okay, that's who it was.
That, so
Right.
all the rural development, it's Ben Levenger, that group
Okay.
is, that's the company's name.
So they're redoing the zoning.
And I believe they sent us an email that they have a red line draft, where they called it, that they want to
Right.
go over. September 20, they'll be in Lander for different things they want to meet. So, once they set a time, everyone will be invited if you want to attend
Okay,
that, and they'll
yeah.
go over some of kind of what they're looking at, what they've gotten done so far. We just don't have the date and time, but it'll be that week of the 20th to 23rd of September.
Right,
I just don't have a date and time just yet.
they're gonna be up here for 3 days or so.
Yeah, and Lander, so they
Right.
wanted to meet with all the stakeholders, council and whatnot on that, just on what the progress is and just what routes they're going down.
September 23rd.
That's a Saturday.
Yeah, it's,
Saturday.
well, I could be off. It
That
might be the
week.
20th, 21st and 22nd. Let's
Okay.
go with the
I
email.
might have come that day.
Too bad it wouldn't be the 20.
I don't know what day it
Third,
is
fourth,
just
fifth,
exactly.
sixth.
But when I find out, I'll shoot you an email, give you a call, let you know.
Well, Yeah. I have no more questions on the bills.
So no further question. We'll approve the consent agenda as amended. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed on the affirmative. Building for building permit. High desert housing.
This is I believe the final trailer
Final one, yes.
of the Cindy Simcox Park out there. And it's on B Street, so it'll be that last that they've been kind of building up. You probably noticed the construction going on. That's where it's going in that last lot.
That's the 10th one.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
And they have the setbacks. They're all within code. And it is a 2013, I believe, 2013, 16 by 76 trailer. Owned by Cindy Simcox.
Right.
I believe it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
that's their standard. Yeah.
I move we approve the building permit for high desert housing.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Councilman Zant, second by Councilman Stetler, that we approve building permit for high desert housing. Any further discussion? None being all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed on the affirmative. Unfinished business, economic development property sale. Tim and Lynn Thompson. I've been notified by Tim and Lynn Thompson that they are not moving forward with their project.
Oh,
So we put this land up, back up for sale.
Well, that was one of the questions I wanted to bring up. Do we want to continue to sell it like we're doing? We haven't started moving our shop right, or do we want to sell it? Try to sell it, put it on the open market for sale, with leaving the shop on there. To do that, we'd have to we had it appraised, but we had it appraised last fall sometime when we were anticipating removing the shop. So the appraisal does not include the shop. To sell it, we would need to have another appraisal with the shop being included if we were gonna go down that route, or continue to go ahead and move the shop. I mean, I just wanted to ask the council's guidance on that. What do you want to do? What do you think we've had interest in the past, I know, with people interested in buying it with the shop. And I know had some pretty, fairly interested people, but we were. That we told was tied to economic development. We have had some interest in the past, of people wanting to purchase that. Not necessarily for economic development, but to put a house there and have a shop, so. But to do that, if we're gonna sell it that way, we need to have an appraisal. To do that and advertise it, whether. To go down that route. So
Seems,
I'm just asked, what do you think?
seems a shop would be pretty handy to have.
There's no water, that would be hard to do.
No, that'd be easy to,
As far as,
You'd have to.
I mean-
jack out around the cement and run sewer lines to the alley, but,
no, I mean, we were talking about moving the shop.
oh, you talked, thought we had about 9,000 for a pad for that over the town lot.
Right,
And I forgot about moving price, about the same amount.
it was, if I
We
remember right,
budgeted-
it was.
We
I think it was
budgeted
13.
20,000
Yeah,
to
so-
do it, and then in the budget, we talked about the pad, was on top of that.
Okay.
yeah, that wasn't, yeah, that
We
was,
didn't include
that wasn't a
pad.
cement pad, that was just a footer. and
Foot
a
of this,
mower.
yeah.
And that, you're right.
'Cause if the town could really use that shop, I don't think we'll ever have. The opportunity to get one that cheap.
I know Mike's got a lot of equipment that's, we pay a lot of money for sitting out in the elements too, so.
Why can't I just park it in
But-
there as is right now?
But if we sold, so
Target though.
if we,
Inside the shop.
covered.
if we
It won't
sold,
fit. Cause they, sorry, go ahead.
It won't fit in there as is, so the doors or whatever.
They can get some of it in there, but there's just so much equipment, they can only get so much into that shop. And some of the equipment like especially like the road grader and stuff, that would pretty much take
Oh,
up the whole,
yeah.
yeah, so.
I'm thinking that the appraisal will come in $80,000 to $100,000. The land was 60, the shop's gotta be worth 20 to 40. If you took that 80 to $100,000 over the 30,000 we were gonna accept, that's an extra 50 to 70,000 more. If you take out the money we're gonna put in that, we're in that price range, you could build put a new shop. That's just one thing I wanted to
I'm
point
gonna
out.
ask Mike that question. What's that? That metal shop sitting on,
Sitting down here?
yeah,
Yeah.
how would you use it? Could you use it? Is it big enough?
Well, we could probably put our grader in there. It sits outside our grader, maybe our backhoe. And those other little pieces of equipment we have, like our vacuum and our pressure washer. Cause most of the stuff we have, what we have is this inside. We have all our motors and that skid steer and the mini X, the four-wheeler. And in the wintertime, we put that ambulance in there. And the ambulance kind of takes up a lot of room. Then we have it buried into the room now. But the other ones, we could use it if we, put some of the other equipment where rather than sit outside.
Yeah.
But this past winter, we had a hell of a time starting that grader. I mean, it got cold.
It did.
Yeah, no, we need another shop down there, that's why we're doing it, but for not a whole lot of extra money, we might be able to build a new one. That's just what I'm pointing out, if we're gonna just put it up, sell for the highest bidder or sell it on the open market for open market price.
So if we did by bids, if they were insufficient, could always reject.
You can always reject it if you put it up for open bid or
The appraisal,
listed, huh?
would the appraisal still be valid if we were still moving the shop?
That's how the appraisal actually was initially, was without the shop.
But it was last fall. I didn't know how long
Yeah,
that was good. for.
that's a good, that,
I mean, on legally. Not get ourselves in a bind.
it has a date on it, on the appraisal, how long it's.
Okay, so what I was getting at is maybe.
We may have to
If we have
redo
to
it anyway.
redo the appraisal,
If
we
we're
could,
waiting next year, yeah.
we could have the appraisal done both ways. I don't know if that cost extra on an appraisal. With or without the shop.
Probably very little.
you
You
know.
know, I'm saying very little, may not be, yeah,
You know where I'm. what I'm
yeah,
thinking.
appraisal about $2,500. What we paid last. It might be a little less because they've already done the footwork, but it's probably not gonna be. A lot less, $2,000 or something like that if we hit it again. We don't want to make any decision now. I just wanted to bring. Look
I'd
look
be
at all
inclined to
the-
keep the shop. I mean, seems like we need it. We're not gonna be able to do it that cheap. Any other way,
I'll bet you be 100,000 minimum for anything.
just to build it.
And we got a bid on the moving of the shop, and I believe we have a preliminary bid on the concrete footers.
Is what
Well, yeah, so what I'm saying, that's. So if it is 100,000, which, yeah. If we're getting additional $70,000, that's $30,000 for a new shop.
Or if we pay 20 to move it and then. Sell the land for 60, we're further ahead. Or was that? I'm remembering last time.
The lots did appraise for 60.
Okay. I would. My inclination is to keep the shop.
Okay.
You guys are thinking.
I'd like appraisal both ways, with and without the shop. You know, if somebody wants to buy the shop,
Okay,
let them buy it separately. I mean, that's what the guy, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that option.
You say separate, like they buy it and move it or buy it
Yes.
with the dirt, just the building.
They buy it and move it.
give them the option
Yeah,
for sale. Okay, I like that.
I think the more options we come up with, we can explore them and eliminate them as they go by.
So. We're probably a month and a half out to get an appraisal. So want me to go ahead and order one?
We have the funds.
Well, we have the funding, but the problem with that is that the funding that's existing wasn't accounting for that, so it takes away from something else. So the answer is yes, but it wasn't
What are we
planned,
willing
so.
to take it away from, I guess. that's
Exactly,
what-
yes.
Snow removal.
I mean, we have room still to increase, you know, we can add to the budget still to a certain amount, so we can always add that once we have a number, we can approach it at that time. If we need to,
We'll have a quarterly adjustment.
so.
We can also put it for sale at our best guesstimation. And then have it appraised if we get a solid offer. And move then and adjust the price. It's hard to adjust it up, but you can adjust it down to meet,
If the appraisal comes in low,
you
yeah.
know. If the appraisal comes in low, then you can lower the price to that or not. Depends on, you know, how it's structured, the bid, you know what I mean, is. If someone comes in as a cash buyer and they think it's worth 100,000, they offer 100,000 and they don't have a. We have to, the city has to have it appraised. For us to sell it,
Right.
where a private individual would not, if I had a piece of property for sale
because
for 100 and you said, I'll take it. And you had to cash, there was no bank involved, we could just do it.
Right, but. That's its public property.
So it has to be appraised before we sell it, so. Am I missing any steps, Marshall?
No, I was just thinking, or I guess my big question is that is, even been over a year since the last appraisal?
No,
No, it was done in the fall,
I was gonna say, yeah,
I'm thinking.
I would think it's still
I think it's,
qualify, yeah.
yeah, probably for a year.
Yeah, I think it'd be reasonable to assume. Not assume, I think it'd be reasonable that within 1 year it's still valid.
But we may not, we can put it out for now, but we had just, if we're gonna, as Bob suggested, put it up for sale, land or with Shaw.
Could you advertise it selling real estate only? Ask. Selling real estate only. Building. Somehow noted in there, make offer on building or something.
that'd be like a. bid,
Sure.
Like if we put it out for bid.
I mean, if your listing was, if we use the current appraisal we had and we put it up for sale.
Right.
Real estate only. Building to be sold at a later date.
Sure.
So then if someone said, well, I'd really like to buy the building and move it, we'd say, well, we can either agree on a price or we get an appraisal and. But as of now, you could, I guess.
If someone buy the land for 60,000 and move forward and we just continue move forward. The only reason we're even kind of have this option because our building move has been dragging his feet getting to us. Where we'd already probably had the building moved and the footers already poured. But we haven't got that far. But we're gonna need to, when we get it, we're gonna need to end up, we need to
Paying it on
pay
down
it,
the road.
stuff like that. But I just wanted to present options. So. Should we go ahead and direct our realtor to list it for sale for $60,000 appraised value? For the land with an option to buy the shop if so desired. And then we can always look at the offer, see how what it appraises at.
I guess the option to buy the shop would be whatever it appraises at,
Right,
so we would have.
and that
to-
way we wouldn't have to work with another appraisal yet.
Unless somebody wants to buy the
Right.
shop. Hate to let it go though.
Well, that's how come I wanted to move it. Same thing, but I just wanted to bring,
Doesn't take long to save $20,000 worth of equipment by just parking it inside.
we need the shop.
I
But a
think
new
it-
shop, you could build exactly what we want that would be better.
For
You know,
5 to 6 times the price.
well, no, not really, Jake.
Really.
Time we put doors in it and everything else, if we're doing, it's not 5, 6 times the price. It could be an extra. 40, 50,000, I guess, probably, but might be money well spent, but maybe not.
I know when I looked at a shop like the one I have now, I was gonna put it over my other place and it was $180,000 to build. And that's a 40 by 80 shop.
Yeah,
That's what I got a quotes on.
I had prices from 90 to 120,000 for a 40 by 50 shop like we have. Like that one is.
I like 20.
You can get 20,000 in roll-up doors in
Yeah,
a heartbeat now.
That's whatever everybody else wants, I guess.
but if we sell it for 40, if we get an extra 40 grand for the shops. And you're still gonna paint it, we're gonna end up putting another 20 in it.
Right.
I mean.
We'll do more than that.
Huh?
You have electrical, you have your sewer, I mean, you're putting 50 into it no matter what.
But yeah, that would be with either building though. Cause you're gonna end up with electrical in the new or electrical in the old. You know what I mean? That's a wash, pretty much, I think.
Yeah, that's, well, it might, yeah.
You know, if you're gonna, if you. You know, but for right now, we need very little electrical and I don't know if we need any, cause we're looking at right now for equipment storage.
Right,
For
so you
now.
really wouldn't need.
So no cement, just the footers and just gravel for parking for now.
There was a plug-in or two for a
Yeah, that'd be nice.
block heater would be.
Right, yeah. But for initially, that's what we're looking for, so. But this other building will work good, that's why I suggested we move it, start off with, I just want to bring up options. Since we may have, we did have people interested in the past in buying it.
Well, I don't think it would take Dave any effort to just modify the listing to say property for sale 60,000. He already has the pictures.
No, I mean, no, we just gotta tell them to do it. I just wanted to
So
discuss that here,
I guess I have a question.
okay?
And we're talking about for sale, it'd be for housing,
Pardon?
it'd be for housing, if you list it for sale at a set price.
Well, it could be, wouldn't necessarily, we've had people interested in private real estate.
Well, if you set a set price, it's gotta go for housing.
Okay. It can't be. It can't be, you can't sell commercial property for set price?
Nope.
Okay.
Gotta go open bid.
Okay.
Or not open bid, it's gotta go out bid, I'm sorry.
Out for bid,
Yeah,
okay.
out for bid.
All that's zoned commercial.
But if we sold it residential, we could always just rezone it. Usually have no. People complain of that,
Yeah, I mean, that's entirely up to council, I'm just letting you know that.
right?
Yeah, to do a set sale through an agent, or I mean, set price through an agent, it's gotta be for. Moderate,
Okay.
or low income. Housing.
Even selling it at appraised price.
We're gonna feel that there was interest. Put it out for bid, anything below appraised, we just put appraised as minimum, like. We've done some of that with the equipment, here's the minimum bid and open it up for bids.
The same thing we did with the land that. I believe you ended up winning the bid on that one.
Yeah.
Last year.
It's record-setting land price in Shoshoni.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't zone, it wasn't. Incorporated. annexed.
Oh, that's true.
It was, yeah, no,
You annexed it so that you didn't have to subdivide it through the county or something. It was annexed then. So.
I thought it was the other way
I
around.
can't remember now.
And then we annexed. That's an expensive sagebrush and cactus. Money well spent. But if there was enough interest, we could go ahead and advertise it for bid. If Dave thought.
Well, on one hand, it almost seems why not? If you put the minimum bid 60,000, put it out for 30 days and. I mean,
Yeah,
to-
well, my only thought on if there was interest is to not be unnecessarily spending money on advertising. But if there is interest, then go ahead and advertise it and do it. But if,
well, if you could push it in 30 days. I mean, beat
Yeah.
the winner, we can put it, it's been up for sale for 2 years. Now, something, I mean. Might not get any
No.
bids.
Yeah.
Especially if you put the minimum, you're still gonna have somebody that's gonna show up and say, well, I'll give you 50,000 for it. You say, well, the deal was. No. But if someone says, here's 60,000, meet your appraisal price. And it's one liability off the books come winter time.
Or if we opted to take the 50, we could, I guess.
Can you do that on?
Open bids, yeah.
If
If
it
it's
was,
open.
Also,
bid.
even though you put bid minimum, someone says, well, I'll give you this
Well,
much.
that I'm not sure.
That I'm not sure you actually put the bid minimum in there. That's more of a.
You could put
council
appraisal price in there.
thing. You guys,
Rather than setting a minimum, we could just advertise it
Mm.
with appraised price of this, bids open. Right,
that'd be illegal, exactly how that.
I
verbiage would
think you
be.
could do that, yeah, just put in there and say, you know, this is what it appraised at, kind of hitting that.
And then accepting bids, so you don't get a $2 bid for.
So then the council can go through and say, oh, look, we had one bid at $2. Well, it's not close enough to our
Yeah,
appraisal.
move on.
And you have the right to reject all bids, right?
Right.
So if they're nowhere near, just
Advertisements, a couple $100.
do it again.
If this is for housing.
not if we advertise it for bid.
Okay,
Yeah,
It could be just zoned.
housing, the council can set a specific price for
for housing.
housing. You-
Moderate to low.
For moderate to low income housing. You can set a specific price regardless of what the appraisal is.
Okay.
But that's very specific to housing. That's what the commercial was talking. about.
Yeah, that's the way it's set in the statutes.
If we're doing that, we probably have to rezone it really for housing. If we were going that route. It looks like it's just a little leg of commercial, so it wouldn't even be. Spot zoning it. If we.
Across the streets, residential.
That's why I said it would fit nice if. It might sell for more zone as commercial too.
I would think it's worth more commercial, but if someone was wanting to build a house.
Wanted a residential, I
Right.
think we
It
could
could be
legally
some-
change it, no problem.
I had that question asked last year. Exactly, could we?
Rezone it
And I-
residential.
And I told my thought we should be able to do that.
I would think you could go to R3
Yes,
and it would not be considered spot zoning, and then it would be legal
correct.
if purchaser desired.
Yeah.
Would it be all or can it buy parts?
Do that too.
I'm just throwing questions out to get us more.
I had that thought as well.
I think they could, if you went down that route, you could have the 6 lots. However you wanted it, with the option to bid on
Bid per
specific,
lot.
Mhm.
and still be up to the council to.
So you could bid higher for the highway frontage.
Right.
Unless one was further away from the highway.
Still have to go to the council to see if they.
Yeah.
Wanted to accept it.
The way originally laid. The streets on the lots on the east side were the 4 lots, that was Nunez's. And the 2 lots up there was the B. Way it's, but you could divide it 3 and 3, but that was the way it was laid out, but then.
Think that it might be better to open it up to per lot or as a whole. If we advertise it as such, and if somebody wanted to get the whole thing and we could get the whole ball of wax, great, and then if not,
Yeah, I really haven't had a chance to really look at this, I just. Sort of shooting from the hip, I've been so darn busy, but anyway, I just wanted.
No, this might be a concept for a work session. Because, you know, we're talking about things, but I don't have enough information and.
Yeah, I don't,
background.
yeah, I usually try to school myself a little better
And that's.
than I have, but I've just been so.
So let's just
swamped.
table it right now.
Okay,
That's my motion.
second,
That's quick.
Been moved in second, we table the economic development property sale, how we're gonna address that issue on property.
So I'll say, we will table the selling of the 6 lots that Tim Thompson was going to buy.
Okay, so moved. Can I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Been moved by Councilman Zant, second by Councilman Stepper. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Hi,
Both same. motion that. Thank you. New business, weed spraying. Was Mike gonna address that, or where are we at on weed spraying? What are we talking about?
I can start off real quick. Right now we're spraying consumer grade applications of chemicals such as Roundup. Mike is currently getting a certification for additional spraying, and he can give exactly details on that. But right now we're not spraying for anything above Roundup or weed control in town. The rest of it is weed spraying is contracted out as part of a professional company that comes out, like does the senior center or senior housing, the parks and whatnot. They spray for the additional Russian knapweed and things like that require heavier duty chemicals. But I believe Mike is working on getting some certification so the town can also spray for additional weeds beyond the standard consumer grade. Do you want to elaborate on that, Mike?
Yeah, I looked into that applicator pesticide certification. I went over to talk to the lady at the extension office. I went last week, but they were all at the state fair.
Yeah.
So I went Monday and I checked it out. And I got it all figured out what I have to do to get certified. It'll cost me $25 for the core. I have to take the core exam first, then I pick a category. After I take that core exam. And that's another $25.
This-
And I can schedule it. If I give her a couple of days. I've been studying since all last week. And I figure by Friday I should be ready to take that test. Hope to pass it. I took a practice one today and I got a 97 on it. But that book is
I was told
239 pages.
over 200.
Yeah.
So you'll be certified for mosquito spraying?
Yeah.
Is anybody else?
Well, that'll be on. Yeah, that'll be whatever I take on the categories,
Categories, okay.
but that includes the weeds, insects,
Okay,
disease. The 901 anyway, is what I'm planning on doing.
okay.
So it's gonna include a few items in there. So, and then with you guys that spray, they can spray under my certification. As long as I'm within 50 miles or an hour away on phone,
100 miles, huh?
it's 50.
Yeah. That's how fast you drive.
So that they can do that, if I'm just like to be contacted right quick and be back over here. They can spray. Underneath my certification.
Ought to be someone in Riverton you can spray under and save yourself the hassle.
Yeah,
Now, I've had people complaining that mosquito spraying is going in windy days and
well, when Bart takes off spraying, it is calm. But as you notice, it don't stay calm very long. So as he's spraying, the wind starts up and then there's dust. But he'll usually quit, when he notices that.
I think some of it though too is they hear the motor running, but we're not. actually-
Yeah, the motor is running, but it's not spraying. When he's moving sometimes, You can't shut the motor off with the remote that's on there, but he can shut the sprayers off.
Right, it's like the sprayer I have for my weeds.
Yeah. He can shut the
The motor
sprayers off, but the
run.
motor will continue to run. That's what they hear sometimes.
You answered my questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything more on the weed spraying we need to address? Let's move on down to semi truck idling. We've been getting complaints.
I've received a few complaints through our cellular cell phone reporting system as well as written complaints. Semi trucks left idling, sometimes with the lights on at night on the north end of the park. And while there is an idling, leaving your vehicle idling state statute that can be enforced, I think that it's at least some other solutions to ensure that we are responsive to the complaints that we receive, especially at night when you have a semi truck that's idling right outside your house, causes some issues. And I think there's some signs. I believe that we ordered some no idling signs or no parking signs or something to that effect, but that's kind of what Joel and I were, or the mayor and I were
Right.
talking about, throw it out there for discussion because we gotta have some solution beyond just citing every driver. It's not
Where's the
really-
issue?
On
Other than,
Third Street
on the north side.
between California and Idaho.
For the truck stops?
We don't have a truck
The
stop.
the truck stop we don't have?
It's a travel plaza. Truck stop. They have no truck parking.
That's the problem. They're having truck parking.
Yeah, I know, and I've actually went down and had nice calm conversations with several truck drivers there and found them cooperative. And explain to them that, lights shining into people's houses is, this is not really right way, park an island and leave your lights, I guess they're safety concerns. Some of them they're worried about running into the back, but you can leave your park lights on and not your headlights. But in any or just trailer lights, but it's, but in any event, it's, and I've had conversations with employees with fast lane and to discourage that type, but yeah, I'm definitely, and people can have an issue with it, can call me at home, and they have. And like I said, it's, we got some signs ordered, we may need to address some city ordinance.
Like I said, we do have a state statute that prohibits idling, it's technically illegal to start your vehicle and let it warm up, it's illegal. In Wyoming, no one enforces it, generally speaking.
Yeah, it's already start and stop on that.
Yeah, but I don't,
It seems like if that's the known hotspot, it's just like we've done over here at the park, doesn't have to be no truck parking, but it can be no truck idling between the hours of 8 and 8, or
yeah,
then it's posted, at least a trucker can say it's.
and that's kind of
posted.
what I want to talk, I don't really think, using the police department just solely to solve the problem is gonna fix the problem, because it's, we're responsive, we're not proactive on that, if we respond to it. So trying to find things to mitigate it, to be on the proactive side to prevent it from happening in the first place, and signage, I think, is one
Right.
way. I think, I don't.
I think it's definitely starting in winter time, be a whole different story as far as, we get snow again. Difference.
But we have spots on each end.
Well,
of town.
that's the thing, they ought to be utilizing.
There and there.
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and that's what
And that's what I direct him to. I know the one
Right.
time, last one, I got the text message. And then I called the mayor and he had gotten a phone call and he had already gone down before so, it's.
and I was nice and courteous, and so were the truck drivers.
Yeah, I don't think it's mostly with malice of any kind. I think they're just used to going to a,
Sure, they're looking for a place to
Yeah.
stop.
And you're tired.
Yeah,
they don't know any better. So, maybe.
Well,
the
with the
signage would
LDs,
be-
you kind of can't go a little farther. When you're up, you're up.
So I don't know, maybe signage to start and see how that
Sure.
works is the
I think
first
it's
step.
probably a challenge because the overall area. It really appears to be vacant.
It is.
I mean, yes, the light's shining in either direction, would be a thing, but as far as picking a spot, say, I'm just trying to be courteous and not go. Because trucks come over here and idle by the bar.
Mhm.
We see trucks that park there every once in a while, they park over by the fire hall, not very often, but.
So I just kind of, for me, I don't know about mayor, but I just wanted to, signage, what are we gonna, what would we allow? Just no trucks, period? Or just like you said, no idling between the hours of 6 PM or 8 PM, or whatever, what have you, and put up signage and just try and address it that way and see how effective that is. And if we need to do more later, or how far we go with it.
No truck parking from the hours of 10 till 6.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the exact answers are, but
Well, if you're in the middle, you're watching TV after supper at 7 o'clock. Or whatever, or if you work shift worker, you know what I mean? You could still, the truck can be annoying and sitting there idling close to you. And I got out. And listened to the trucks and got out of my pickup, got on it up on the hill and walking around there. Yeah, you definitely would annoy me also.
especially the cattle haulers.
Oh, yeah, but, yeah, but in any event, I think the complaint's very valid. And that's one reason. But there again, fast lane can only do so much also. But if someone asks if they can park it, no, and
What if it was it seems like it's an idling deal, no truck idling posted in that area. I mean, that is following statutes, we don't have to pass anything to do that.
Right, that's what I was,
sure.
we have
So
a
we
mechanism.
just in the area where there's a problem of truck. Or vehicle idling, I don't know how to word that, I guess.
It could be anything from no parking period. Or parking, but yeah, like I said, no idling.
No idling, because that's the concern, now you're not gonna sit there with your headlights on if it's not running.
And if they complain about it, well, there's idling down there.
Well, and then then it moves on to the next thing. So someone stops in there with a camp trailer. Well, what about the people in the campground over there that run their generators in the nighttime?
But we do have a nuisance violation order, so if that becomes a complaint, I can shut them down, just same they do on state parks.
So someone would have to call you and say, hey, I don't like the generator that's buzzing over there. But if somebody stops over here and camps, I guess they can technically camp there with their camper. On a city street as of now, and we don't.
We have an orders, yes.
Yeah, they can.
So if they run their generator. I guess they can do that. So the next question, can a truck driver run a generator? So some of these trucks they shut off, they have a little, what do they call it? The tri-pack?
APU,
The APUs.
but they are not loud.
But if the question
the
is
ones I've ever
idling. Are we that specific to say, if the truck driver says, I'm running my APU, well, I'm sorry, that's.
Well, you could put it no engine idling, it's an engine.
Yeah. I mean,
True, I know what you're saying,
I guess from a law enforcement perspective, everything you just brought up, there is a remedy from law enforcement that we can employ. I'm trying to not strictly use that as, to be so rigid that as the only thing. I'd rather
Sure.
be something a little bit more diplomatic and,
Sure, like more of a courtesy of,
yeah,
our kids play here, slow down.
kind of, yeah.
That's why the first reaction was signs.
And if it comes to the point, then we will deal with it.
and if it was as simple as no engine idling posted in the problem areas, it'd be fairly inexpensive and we wouldn't have to pass anything or change anything other than.
And then if it solves the problem for the most part, then great. If not, then
You're still gonna have, even out here on the highway, I don't know if the sign's still there, it says no truck parking.
Yeah, yeah.
Fast lane. See, the strategy is you block the sign with your trucks. So you can run in real quick.
yeah, but the police officers know where the signs are.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, there used to be a sign. There's a truck there now. I don't know what's
I
going on
know.
there. But yeah,
Casper used to hire height of speed limit signs in a school zone by a tree. Literally, you didn't see it till you was on it.
But really, I just really wanted to talk about, at least have that we're gonna address it from the town perspective, and if signage is the first step, then. we'll come
I'd
up
go to
with-
sign, they're thinking down here at this park with the signs up, there's very rare to see a truck parked
It's,
down.
and you're right, every once in a while you get one, and then we point out and they move it pretty quickly, but very
But
rarely do
not,
they
a
actually.
good-
park
and I,
there.
and I think the courtesy would be if the signs are up to the average driver, you may
Right.
gonna be irritated, but. You say there's other places to go,
Yeah, it still becomes a problem after that. we can do something there.
yeah, and you're not gonna, I mean. Same thing, if you're on patrol and you see a truck that's up there idling, and you make another round and it's gone. You say, well, the guy just stopped your end and grabbed a hamburger.
Right.
Versus 2 a.m.,
Right.
a different story.
So do we need a motion to buy signs or put up signs or just it's administrative
Signs.
It's just
decision?
more administrative, just
Okay,
kind of getting ideas and wanting to throw it out there, so.
I like some courteous signs. For courteous drivers to not get in a jam.
I'll get with Mike and we'll. Get the exact verbiage of something. Put up.
I think we have some more.
I think we do too.
Anyway. If, anyway, yeah, just wanted to bring that up, public concern. Move,
Legitimate.
ready to move on? Police report, please.
Well, for July, didn't have nearly as many calls, but the calls we did have were a little bit more intensive than typical months, so. We did have quite a few incidences of controlled substances as well as an enormously large amount of assisting other agencies, mainly state parks and sheriff's office on calls east of town and north of town for lack of overall resources in the county. So we did respond to a lot of assisting other agency calls. The juvenile issues were pretty well contained last month in July. Not the juveniles are the only problems, but it was the peak of summer and kids were out and about. We did have a few interactions with them that did not result in any kind of official enforcement action being taken. So they were really compliant with listening, especially for curfew. You know, you see them walking around, what are you doing out? It's 11:30 at night. You know, go home, and they would go home. So was encouraging. We did have less officers out as well for July for various reasons. So we were a little understaffed for part of that month and part of August, but I think we're back to full staff now. We are still intending to get that position hopefully filled here in the next few months, and then we'll talk about that when that time comes. But that's still on the back burner that we talked about, probably November, December timeframe before we really get that going, as Riverton's kind of hurting pretty bad right now
For officers.
for officers. So the sheriff's office is trying to assist and stay there, which trickles down to us we're on our own. And then also other sister agencies that are in the area also. It just kind of reverberates down to us and we back them up, which is what we've been doing a lot of. So that takes away from a lot of self-initiated activity where whether it be DUIs and things of that nature. But like I said, we did have 6 calls for service that resulted in controlled substances, different various types of drugs in the community that were encountered in July. But our overall call volume was 26% less than the year before, 55% less than 2 years ago, and 26% from 3 years ago. So July, from a call volume perspective,
Fairly quiet.
was fairly quiet, but the types of calls we responded to, the nature of them was more time intensive. Also, I wanted to bring up with Marshall, I know we have some ordinances, but we do have a large problem with dead trees in people's yards that are on private property. That I've been getting a lot of complaints on the trees and with the high wind and stuff breaking and damaging personal property, which, there's civil remedies for that. But I think in the grand scheme of things, that's something that I think we need to maybe research a little bit. If there's something we can do from a town perspective to encourage or incentivize or force some kind of,
It's expensive.
it is. But we do have a lot of dead trees that. I mean, obviously the town addressed that, we trimmed our trees and whatnot. But we have a lot of dead trees on private property that are abandoned or just neglected and they're breaking and it's causing damage to citizens' property. And that's one of the complaints that I've been getting a lot here in the last couple of weeks. So I just wanted to throw that out there and bring that up. And I'll get with Marshall. I mean, I haven't done a whole lot of research exactly. I know we do have some remedies we can do, but it's something that would probably behoove us to at least try to find a remedy for.
Do we have comments from the audience? Can you please come up? Introduce yourself, young lady.
Robin Hurry lives on Oak Street. Are any of those trees in our backyard? I mean, because part of our trees are dead. Is it our trees that are causing that?
I'm talking from the ground, not being specific to any one person. I'm guilty.
No, no, we can't find anybody to cut them because
Yeah.
we don't know how
And
to.
that's why I just
do that.
wanted to.
It's not the whole tree, but it's like the middle of the trees are like dying.
Yeah.
Right.
Stop confessing, Robin. Stop.
Yeah.
confessing.
No, because I just need to know, then we'll just hop right on that if it is.
And some of these trees they're fairly large trees that had just died and they're,
So they've got like no green on them.
they're just completely dead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
I thought that's what you said, but I wasn't sure. We were just talking about it. And we said, Christy said, what about our dead trees? We got, and I go, Christy, half of them are dead. The other half's got green.
Yeah.
so it's
Okay.
just I just let the council, because I've been getting a lot of complaints.
Oh, okay,
And I
okay.
don't know.
But if it is, you'll all let us know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of I don't have an exact solution.
Oh,
I
okay.
want to start exploring.
That's
what
just it.
we can do.
Just
either
want to make
help
sure
or
that we weren't in
suggest.
trouble.
Thank you, Robin.
That's all I have for the police report.
Thanks a
Uh,
lot.
And didn't we, or was that an August police report about our SRO recognition?
Well, yeah, I guess he was our SRO was awarded the SRO of the year last month. Cody Myers, he does a fantastic job with the school and the many events that he does during the summer, camp postcard and just being interactive with the kids and trying to give them opportunities to not only learn, but also figure out ways to be better adults as they get older and to be involved in community events. So he does a fantastic job and he deserves every bit of the recognition that he received.
Thought that was a real accolades for him and for our whole police department, since he's a member of our police department. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yep, and I was unable to attend the ceremony for doctor's orders. But yes, thank you for bringing that up, but it kind of passed by the wayside that for me, but yes, he does a fantastic job with the school and the kids and he's a huge asset for the police department and the community. And I couldn't be more excited to have him for everything he does.
Okay.
And he was filling in for some missing officers the last couple of weeks and patrolling as well as
I have seen
everything.
everything
else he's done.
He responded to our place on duty that
Yep.
that one day last
So he's,
spring.
I think we do have a very, very well-rounded police department, especially for our size and the personnel that we do have, I think is phenomenal compared to.
I know our meeting we had with the emergency response people, they were pretty impressed with the capabilities that we have here in Shoshoni.
Yeah.
Very, You can do that? You have that?
We are very fortunate for the personnel that we do have and. Not every agency can say that right now, especially the nature of the world, so.
Trickles down from the top down.
Are you trying to take credit or are you giving it to the chief?
I'm giving it to the chief.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. I just want to clarify.
I'm giving it to the chief where it deserves,
Thank you,
but I did initiate.
That's a fact.
Yeah. No, our chief does an excellent job, so, and our PD does. Public Works, Mike.
Good evening, Mayor Heisman, council members. With my water sampling, we done the lead and copper sampling on the first, or no, the 6th of this month. We're still waiting for the results. We haven't gotten them. And Gores and Associates, they tested well number 6 for gas. They did a VOC and arsenic. They got the results back. I talked with them this morning. They have 21. They did two tests on that sample. And the first sample was 21 milligrams per liter of methane. And the second sample was 18 milligrams a liter of methane. So there is gas getting into the water. And so, and they're and the standards for methane in drinking water does not exist. There's no standard for it. But the Department of Interior, they have a warning level of 10 milligrams per liter. So we're above that. That's all what they found out so far. And the next step for them is they're gonna pull the pump and video the well to see if they can see where it's coming in. There's like 4 different areas in that well that have slotted screens as you're going down. I think it's a 400-foot well, so they're going to try to see if they can find that. And maybe they can plug it off, but until they video it.
400 foot of screen.
No, there's the screens are like 10 foot in length, but this
Okay.
the well is 400 feet.
Well, 6,
Yeah.
isn't it deeper than that, Mike? No.
Well, it's dug deeper. It's drilled to 1,000 foot,
Right.
but they're only down. The casing's only down to 400 feet.
Okay,
That's where the pump is set at.
right.
But the well is drilled to 1,000 foot.
So they're, okay, so they're not cameraing past where the pump was?
No, I don't think so. Just in these slotted areas of the casing. When the drop, when the casing is going down.
Okay. Well,
That's
yeah,
why they're gonna
look at
pull the
that.
pump.
Oh, yeah, I'll look, yeah, okay.
That's what Jeff was telling me this morning when I talked with him on this. But he's trying to get that set up, pretty soon there. As soon as he can. As soon as he can find a guy in a video.
Who are they, do you know who they're gonna be using to do that, Mike?
I know they're gonna use Fremont Wells to pull the pump,
Right,
but I don't know who the
can't,
video is gonna be.
okay,
That's who he's looking for right now.
okay,
He's looking for someone to video it. And the arsenic was below the threshold
right,
of 10 parts per billion,
right,
so it's below that. He didn't really tell me the exact number, but all he said is below the threshold. And I know the standard for that is 10 parts per billion,
mhm,
the MCL, the EPA MCL. Maximum contaminant level. Bart and Steve, they're still at it, getting at the weeds. we're finding some that, well, our mower went down a couple times here. That one that Bart uses. Had to replace some tires on it. I don't know what he hit, but he ripped the tire up pretty good. And then was not seeing whatever it was in the weeds. 'Cause the tires are pretty thick. And they just pulled off a whole big section. I had to get those replaced. Bart, he has been, last week he was out grading some of the roads. When he had a little bit of time there. And right now the ground is too dry. We don't have a water truck. So it don't stay graded very long with all the traffic. We don't have a roller either. Roller and water truck to help out with the grade. So he can grade it, but then it'll just, traffic will just tear it back up again. It unravels without being compacted and watered down. I told him to do it when after it rains, but we were busy then, so.
Yeah.
And that air leak we had on our aerator system down here at the lagoon,
Yeah.
Mike and I repaired that. We dug it up, repaired it, put a full circle clamp on it. And that it started pushing a lot more air out into the lagoon. And it made a lot of that sludge disappear. That was ponding up there.
Yeah.
It was coming in. It's mostly gone now. And the other sludge that's on the other side, in the lagoon too, it moved out of there too, so all that air, more air is helping it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, right now, we're trying to having Mike try to start draining them, get them down before it gets too cold.
Right.
So we can just, we'll have some freeboard when winter hits. So he's working on number one right now.
Yeah.
I just told him just open it up just a little bit at a time, till it gets kind of even, what's coming, we're pushing it to two and going out into the weird. So, because number two is down pretty far. We got down just like just number one that
Right.
we need to work on. On the potholes, we got some of the potholes filled. And that little section over there on Maple Street. Over by your house, Joe. We got that patched up a little bit. That didn't cost the town anything. I got that a freebie. Thanks to the senior center down here.
Right. Oh, when they were.
Yeah, when they paved that,
Yeah.
Dave called me up and said, Mike, you got any potholes or places you can throw some asphalt? He said, I have a lot left over here. So I had Mike run down there and take him out and show him where these potholes are. So that was, plus there.
Yep.
We didn't have to spend this.
Do you need more?
Who?
Do you need more?
The what?
Do you need more asphalt?
Uh,
Or you,
no, I don't think so. I'm not too sure. He got what was the most parts were at.
we're acquiring tons per day over here from this project.
Over here.
So it's difficult to utilize because it happens based on the batch. And so in order for it to be used, either you have to have a spot ready for it to go. But like I said, some days we're pulling in 5 semi loads or more of unused reject.
Well, I'll have Mike look around.
Pave some roads.
Like it's just-
Paving somebody's streets.
Like I said, I don't quite understand the mix of how they do it. We've seen everything from heavy loads of dirt to straight gravel and then everything in between, but they're the tail end of the project of paving out here.
Yeah,
So. Like I said, it's just, at the end of every day, whatever is left over, they will blend it in, and so it's. Yeah, so we have them.
well, we're supposed to get some of those millions. I don't know how much they're gonna do.
So I don't, so they've used a lot. It was surprising. So they milled it all down and then they put it back into the.
Yeah.
To the mix
Yeah,
for
that's
going
just
out there.
what they were saying. They said they had any left over. Give us some.
Yeah, it was surprising.
Oh, not. I'll use it all up.
They're close here.
Yeah. We got one more lift out there. One side's done. and the other one. I need one more lift on it. To take care of that. That's all I have. You guys got any questions?
Question?
No, sir.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Good report. Tammy, do you have anything
No,
you want
I
to talk
don't.
about? Jake? No? Mike? Bob?
Yeah, give us a follow-up on the leasing was on Councilman Settlers property.
Well, she paid that.
Okay, I just, does everybody know that?
Okay,
Too, you know?
Oh, yeah, he
Yeah.
negotiated and
Okay, I just let the community know that it was done, and so we don't have
Yeah.
that problem. Okay,
yeah,
then, for your information, I'll be in Casper on Thursday. With a public utilities hearing on the rate increase for electricity. At 29%. And so. Kim gave me a list of towns, bills. So high bill was $5,624 last. That was in February last year. 30% of 5,000, that's $1,500 monthly raise. For towns utilities. So is that in our budget?
No, it's not.
Well, that's less than Taco Bell and Burger King.
And that right there is only. The Public Works Department, their utility bill, if you look at it. Is about 60% of all utility bills that we pay for the town. That includes the senior housing, medical clinic, that's not included on that. That's just town hall. The police department, library, and the streetlights. The Public Works Department takes about 60% of the power consumption that the town pays. Yeah, no, yeah, I
they
mean,
do like more than 60% of the work.
oh.
turn off the lights at night, man.
So that includes water wells.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out to you that
Right.
But at the end
how
of those,
significant that could be when, we're talking just a small, that right there is about 30% of all our utility bills at 5,000. That's leaving the 70% from other sources, 60% or so, which is just,
so that means your high bill could really be $10,000 to $12,000 on.
So that's not including.
no. That's just town hall.
Yeah, take your
Town
30%.
hall.
Well, when I say town hall, I mean town hall, the
Library.
library, the police department, the town shop, and the streetlights.
The wells.
No wells, no senior housing, no medical clinic. Those all come out of different budgets.
Okay.
Well, Wendy's is still surviving. The lines are still long. Nobody went to that meeting about.
I mean, we could start charging a surcharge for having a street light outside your house, I guess.
Pay a toll to come in.
Yeah, you could. Public safety.
As bright as that cell tower is, I don't even know that we need streetlights.
Right, especially tonight, that thing strobes.
You know, I tell people we cut costs by not using our marquee down the end of the road.
Well, that's, the part should be in here in about a week or two, so that will be back up.
So our bill's gonna go.
Yeah,
We can always skip the Christmas lights. So I'm just going to Casper and say, hey, this is going to affect our town.
my question would be if you're gonna go up 29%, how is that going to shareholders? Where is that going? Do you already have a profit? Because if you already have a profit, why are you going 29% to protect your margins? What are you doing back for the communities for that raise? That's my question.
So I'll come in tomorrow, get some more information.
She's at a training class with Melissa
Okay.
for Cassell, but I can get it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
this is what happens when we're not using our natural energy we have here in Wyoming.
Oh, there's also a current surcharge on all electrical bills. Based upon our harsh winter, because Rocky Mountain had to buy natural gas on the open market to run their generating plants that are running on natural gas that have been replaced coal-fired plants. 7% there.
You gotta appreciate national propaganda radio where they went on this whole program about how gas stoves are bad for the environment. And then switched to giving accolades to power plants for switching to natural gas.
So I'll report on this next time.
But probably natural gas is in the long run cheaper than solar.
Well, coal, they're switching from coal to. natural gas.
Coal's cheap, the cheapest,
Nuclear's cheaper.
but all this. Won't even get into all the other things we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Wind and solar. Any event, I thought we were gonna get. We're not, some of the states aren't even allowing coal generation in. Any event, let me try to shorten mine up. Shooting complex update, we're working on. We've had our first meeting and we're looking at, we got a committee formed and we're working on, we're gonna have another meeting Friday. We had the first one last Friday and we're moving forward. There was an article in the Riverton Ranger, which was in error. It said Shoshoni and Lander were seeking it. We're seeking it as a group, Fremont County, to land it somewhere in Fremont County. But I'll give you a better update maybe next time. We're having the next meeting is going to be in Riverton, 27th. New town hall. We got delay on some supplies. We have waiting on some doors. They sent us some wrong doors, hinges in the wrong place.
We're not having to pay extra for it.
The carpet got hit. Well, I don't know if it's on site yet, but the carpet got picked up. The carpet got delayed also. I've been in there, it's starting to look like a building. I'll bring up, they removed our water fountain that they weren't supposed to, but they also removed all the plumbing associated with it. So we're kicking that around with them right now.
I think we just get a table with some bottled water and call it a day.
Did they charge us for that?
Yeah, that was one of the change orders we had to pay for.
The deal is they got to put the plumbing and everything back in for no charge if we so desire.
Should have thought twice about that $250 drill bit every time.
It's they're not getting any sympathy from me. I think having a water fountain in our lobby is a good thing to have.
If not, we'll be accruing expenses here on after providing water.
But the real deal is they took all the plumbing out and they took out the plumbing that was in the floor. They cut up, when they went ahead and cut off the floor and replaced it with no.
What about those?
So when I went in there, well, what do you guys do? They'd already done, I didn't. Why'd they do that?
That's cheaper.
They screwed up on reading the plans.
That's the first time.
I mean, they screwed up reading the plans. They thought they had a fire extinguisher going there. They tore it out, but there's nothing. Then the plans that addressed the water heater, or the water fountains, but it didn't tell them to do anything. So they took it out, but they took all that plumbing out. And so there is a drain near there that I thought, well, it'd be okay to me if you just drain it up in there, 'cause they took out the drain. No, you can't do it that way, that isn't the code, so they're gonna have to pay that Turks and Foreign, come back into it. But the other one that didn't follow the darn. You know what I mean?
So I'm with you. I got no sympathy for it. I should have quit
Same
nickel
here.
and dime,
I,
put it back.
so let's put it back now, that would bring something. Would we,
With a warranty, so it doesn't leak.
well, warranty that it doesn't leak. If we were to put a new. 'Cause we didn't put a new faucet, new water deal, and I thought, when I was looking, I thought that's something we forgot, and I was cussing myself, and they tore the thing out, and what the heck? But if we were to. Buy a new water fountain, you could get just a plain water fountain for. $500-600, or you can get a refrigerated one for, that fills bottles and everything for about $1,300.
Make them pay for it for the mess up.
Yeah, for their error, and have them buy you one and then give you a year's supply of water for it because,
Dr.
at your
Pepper
cost.
dispenser.
Well,
or 2
So-
years.
Man, we're gonna need an engineered drawing to make sure this is.
well, and they're gonna have to pay plan one for that engineering's drawing also. But anyway, this is just sort of developed, and I'm just bringing that up, I'm working with the architect, and he's been talking to Caspar, and they're basically, we'll see where it goes.
They haven't cut
I'm
us,
just giving you a
not,
heads up.
Yeah,
cut us not 1 inch of slack.
No, that's what I'm,
So they set the tone.
yeah. I wouldn't go in and bring a jerk and just say we went into it saying this is like a furniture deal. Our expectation, we're gonna have a water fountain out of the deal, just like we're gonna have office furniture. Well,
right,
our office furniture is $40,000 difference.
right.
So,
So, but anyway, I think it's a nice I think it's nice to have that fountain. We should have it.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. I just wanted to make sure. Fourth and Maple, with talking with the contractor, they have, they got our streets still tore up. But they're not done with everything they did there. They would, if they paved everything, they'd end up digging it up again. And so I don't like it, but I can get my car, and it's pretty picky if I gotta work at an angle, but I gotta do that on our regular road anyway, It's also, I don't know, that's what
How will it affect the school buses tomorrow morning?
they have, more than one road to
Okay,
drive.
so we need to maybe talk to them.
Well, maybe
suggest
we should,
School to run up.
But all they gotta do is, cause they drive slow, I mean,
Yeah, it will just, if they run that road, it's gonna get beat up worse.
yeah, it would be, you're right, and we should talk to them and to go down Herbst Lane. That'd be one way, that or go all the way through town and go down
I'd go down California.
California.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that 7th Street would get pretty washboard. It with buses running up and down it pretty regular.
Is
Maybe
a bus,
Already,
is a bus a truck? Because the sign says no trucks.
so. And they're the West Side Sewer, they're still waiting on, not getting any love on the lift station, so. We're hoping we get it in October. Last, contractor is not getting any love from the distributor. Other than that, I don't have anything that I can think of. Anybody have anything else? None being, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. We don't have any comments from the audience.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We wanted to come because we don't know what was going on in town, so.
Well,
We show up every week.
we'd love to see you. Marshall, would you like to add anything? Nope. Okay, just checking. We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Been moved by Councilwoman Hurty. Can I have a second?
Second.
Reluctantly, Mike Demick, Councilman Demick has a motion we adjourn. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative, approximately 8:33.
See the signature there and there.
What time tomorrow be a good time for me to come in?
And that was a good.
I have to run to Sheridan, so I'm gonna come in.
I didn't know that.
If you can be in here. before-
We went in,
I'll be in.
here's the meadows by Moran,
Yeah.
like over Toby.
Give me the.
Hang a right, trailhead there.